Welcome to helping 1 million small and medium-sized businesses to succeed with their advertising. My name is Mike Damjanovic and I am an Adline specialist. And I'm also the host of this very special podcast aiming to deliver value to our listeners and those that are watching. My aim is to inspire, to educate, and ultimately to help you that are listening to succeed with your advertising. So today I am really happy to have Helena with me today. She is our fantastic customer success manager. Welcome, Heidi.
Thanks. Thank you for the introduction, Mike.
It's great to have you here. Heidi has been asking me every single week, Mike, can I come on the podcast? I want to feature, I want to be on the podcast. So I know you've been looking forward to joining us.
Yes, that's correct.
And again, the whole point of this podcast is to help those that are listening to be able to implement what they hear and to improve and succeed with their advertising. So over the last 14-15 months, you've been working with literally hundreds of small and medium-sized companies, not just here in Norway, but around the world, 19 different countries.
That's right.
And if there are three things that you can recommend to do, either when you're first starting with Adline or when you're going to be doing creating your campaign.
Yes, I have some tips to get started with. Of course, there are a lot of things to do to make a campaign successful, but there are three main things that I can share today. The first thing is it's important to go broad, and when I say go broad, I mean to test out different channels. Don't be afraid of testing out channels that you may have bad experience with or don't have used in earlier marketing. That's actually because when you go broad and test out different channels, the algorithm in Adline will make sure that you get the most out of your budget, even though you're testing out ads on Google and Facebook and Instagram. It will make sure that you will get the good results from advertising. Yeah. And the one of the many benefits of using Adline actually is that you can create all these ads in different channels in one campaign. Super easy.
So go broad when you're first starting out. And then what's your second point?
I also recommend to have enough budget for the ads. If you want to get good results to get started with, it's important to set a high enough budget for all the ads to run and also perform. And it's also important to give the algorithm some time to collect data and to get an accurate picture of what kind of channels that actually are giving you results.
Yeah. Because that actually answers one of the questions that we got from our viewer, and that is to do with how long you should run your campaign and what kind of budget you should be allocating. Maybe you could just answer that one now.
Yeah.
So the question is, how long should I be running my campaign for, and what kind of daily budget should I have?
That's a really common question, actually. I recommend to have the campaign active for at least 14 days with a minimum budget of 10 euros or dollars per ad per day to get accurate and good image of what kind of ads that are performing. And you will also get a good, the algorithm will get a good picture of which of the channels you should continue with, and maybe which of the channels you should pause.
So when you're starting with Adline, let's just to summarize the first 2 points. Create a campaign which includes Facebook, Instagram, and Google. Go broad, also with the different interest groups that you're using, but then also ensure that on at least the first campaign, that it's running for a minimum of 14 days. Maybe even longer if possible. Is that right?
That's correct.
That is because we want the algorithm to have enough time, enough budget to collect enough data to make you make an informed decision. And I guess that leads on to your third point, your third tip, which is around the audience, I believe.
Yes, it's really important to know your audience, find out who are your audience, and also to find good target groups and interest groups on both Google and Facebook. to reach out to the right audience. That's really crucial.
I remember you telling me a story. I can just summarize it now instead of you telling the whole story. But it was a company in the Netherlands that were selling vitamins, and at first they just thought it was for younger people. They were just advertising that there, and then they opened up. They instead of just sending the ads to younger people, they went broad. And actually found out that they had a huge market with a slightly elder generation, because the elder generation were more interested, well, also very interested in buying vitamins. So that's 3 very good points. So just to summarize, go broad, have a good enough budget and duration, and then make sure that you find out your target audience. And I guess if you're doing point 1 and 2, at least when you're using Adline, then you're going to be able to find out who your target audience is. Is that correct?
That's correct. That's really good optimized, Mike.
Perfect. So let's just take the second question we have from the viewer. That is, if I have a budget of $500 is that enough to run advertising with Adline?
Yes, that's enough. But I recommend to don't run the campaign for 30 days, because it will not be enough for the daily budget. But maybe try to test out the budget in 14 days and then see which of the ads that worked and which of the ads that didn't get any results. Then you can learn from that and create a new campaign the next month with the same budget. Then you have learned actually a lot what your audience is towards to.
Hi Helena, thank you so much. I have just one final question. If there is a person listening to this podcast and they're doing advertising themselves, but they would like to give somebody else the task of creating their ads and campaigns, is there somewhere that they can send an email to Adline? Do we help our customers create campaigns?
Yes, of course. They can send an email to me or some of my colleagues, and we will of course help you with getting started, give you a good onboarding, and also help you create a perfect campaign in Adline.
Perfect. Thanks again so much. Thanks for listening. Thanks for viewing. Take care, guys. See you next time.